I know we can't cozy up to dictators. We have to stand up to them. We can't contain ISIS. We must defeat them, and we will.
In her speech to the American Legion today, Hillary Clinton issued a fairly standard line used by American heads of state that we shouldn't cozy up to dictators. It's a maxim often ignored by those American heads of state when it comes to certain dictators who are American allies. As Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton herself said, with regard to Hosni Mubarak, who kept an iron grip on Egypt for nearly 30 years before his ousting in 2011, quote, "I really consider President and Mrs. Mubarak to be friends of my family, so I hope to see them often here in Egypt and in the U.S." The U.S. government has also been a steadfast ally to the undemocratic and oppressive regime of Saudi Arabia. And not just an ally. The U.S. has been supplying arms to the Saudis at record levels. Since 2010, the Obama administration authorized a record $60 billion in U.S. military sales to Saudi Arabia, arms that have then been used to wage an air war in the country of Yemen, indiscriminately targeting civilians. According to the United Nations, the Saudi-led military coalition Yemen was responsible for some 60% of the 1,953 child deaths and injuries there during the past year. Human Rights Watch pointing out that aerial strikes have hit schools, hospitals, markets, and homes, and that includes areas specifically designated off-limits. According to the New York Times, the United States included a bridge on a no-strike list of vital infrastructure, explicitly informing the Saudis that it was critical to responding to the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. And yet, the Saudi-led coalition obliterated the structure. The airstrikes have been going on for over a year, with basically no domestic political outcry. But finally, members of Congress are speaking up about the ghastly moral abomination that is the Saudi war in Yemen. 64 legislators signed a bipartisan letter asking the Obama administration to halt the sale of more than $1 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia. The letter noting that in June 204 House members voted to block the transfer of cluster bombs to Saudi Arabia after reports of their use in civilian areas in Yemen. It was not enough to stop the transfer. America is the largest arms exporter in the world, just one of the many ways we're an exceptional nation. What Hillary Clinton said about her foreign policy position today, including her version of American exceptionalism, next.
Who says you're